Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Viking Field, home of the Valparaiso Vikings on homecoming night. As you're seeing some homecoming footage from the parade that happened just this evening. Homecoming is just one of those great times of the year where an entire community and school can get together and flourish throughout the day. As you can see, the cheerleaders were there. Everyone from the Valparaiso community showed up, and it was just a great parade, wasn't it, Tristan?
It really was, honestly. I enjoyed it.
That was great. And as you were joining us, this is PCTV, home of the Valparaiso Vikings and their football team. As we're just underway, we are about 5 minutes till game start. And today we're going to be looking into some of the key players to look into tonight, such as number 27, Tommy Burby of the Valparaiso Vikings. He's one of those essential players that looks out for the team and is one of the players that you can really count on the field, can't you, Tristan?
Yeah, he's been doing pretty good this year.
He really has been. With 6 games played, 782 total yards on the season, averaging 7.0 yards per carry or per reception, which is great for a high school junior. He averages just 130.3 yards per game. With an exceptional amount of yardage, you can expect Tommy Burby to be that key player for the Vikings tonight.
Oh, here they come onto the field.
They're coming in ready. You better come in hungry. Everything that you have done to this point, all the practices, all the time, all the commitment, all the off season, you are ready for Friday night. You are ready.
And fires, and it's intercepted.
You can go as far as you want to go as individuals. We can only go as far as we can go as a team.
Runs it to the left side, and he is in for a touchdown. Valparaiso gets the early strike.
He's going deep.
Jesse
Wide
Harper
open.
wide open.
C.J. Opperman threw that ball perfectly.
Sometimes our talent may not match the talent of the guy that we're across from. But our passion and our perseverance will not be matched. That's what Friday night is for.
And with a beautiful firework display, the Vikings have taken the field for opening action against the 6-0 Merrillville Pirates. Now, with both of these teams evenly matched up, you are here watching the broadcast home of the Vikings right here on PCTV. I'm Zach Collins, along with my color commentator tonight, Tristan Stewart, bringing you to live football action as the Vikings take on the Pirates here in Valparaiso, Indiana. The Valparaiso Vikings are currently undefeated in both non-conference play and conference play, going 6-0 in their first 6 games on the season, with a record of 4-0 in the DAC. If that sounds impressive, just look right at how the Merrillville Pirates have been playing, also going 6-0 on the season and 4-0 in DAC play. Both teams look evenly matched up for one of the biggest games of the month. And now we will pause for the national anthem. And we are just underway to get this Valparaiso Vikings action started right here in Valparaiso, Indiana. As we go to some key players tonight, number 27, Tommy Burby. He's at 99 attempts on the season, 782 yards total, which will average after the end of the season 1,000+ yards. Average of 7.9 yards per carry or 7.9 yards on every reception, with 10 touchdowns for the Valparaiso Vikings this season and averages 130.3 yards per game. Now we're bringing up number 19, Jeremiah Howard, 565 reception yards on the season. And he's punt returned 155 yards, which is very good for someone of his size. He's also averaged 124 yards per game and 744 yards total on the season. And now for Jeremiah Howard, being only 5'11", 170 pounds, that's something pretty impressive, isn't it, Tristan?
Yeah, and with him being a junior.
It is very impressive with him doing so. Now, Tristan, what should we look out for tonight with the Pirates?
There's a lot more than just looking out for what the Pirates have. It's looking out for the entire offense, Zach. The Pirates are led by 5'11" senior quarterback Eric Whitehead, taking the head position on offense. Whitehead throws an average of 141 yards per game, along with throwing for 9 touchdowns on the season. The only downside to Whitehead is his 5 interceptions along the season, but it doesn't look like it will hurt him in the Pirates.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be very good tonight. It's going to be very interesting to see how that defense pairs up, as Coach Marshall even spoke to us that he would come down on defense. He explained that keeping both the defense and secondary targeted on both Howard and Glass in the backfield is essential in this game. With both of them accounting for more than 110+ yards per game combined, that secondary is going to have to step it up in this game tonight. Coach Marshall also emphasized on blocking and tackling are key to the entire defense. He also spoke about how the entire defensive secondary needs to step it up tonight so that they don't get beat in the backfield due to Merrillville being an offensively quick team. And as the teams prepare to take the field for the opening coin toss, we'd like to thank you again for watching, and here's some more on the Valparaiso football team. It seems that Valpo's already stood up to the challenge when you look at the defensive stats as well. The Vikings have 20 sacks already in just 6 games of play, which averages out to 3.3 sacks per game. On the defensive line, they are led by the defensive pressure that gets even better when you look at the secondary production, with 9 interceptions, averaging 1.5 interceptions per game. Now, Tristan, what is it that makes this Vikings team so special when you're watching them on right here in the booth? Strong words from our color commentator. The Vikings don't just have a great defense, but their offensive production seems very stellar as well. Led in rushing by the trio of junior Tommy Burby, sophomore Hayden Vineyard, and senior Antonio Osorio, with Burby rushing for 130 yards per game, followed by Vineyard with 54 yards, and Osorio with 34 rushing yards per game. Tommy Burby has more than double the amount of rushing yards than anybody out of the trio, with 782 rushing yards that we said is our player to watch in the game. And Valpo will be receiving the opening kickoff tonight, so we are going to be going right back down to the field to watch the Valparaiso Vikings take on the Merrillville Pirates. Both teams are currently undefeated, which means that only one team will remain undefeated in the conference after this game here tonight. Will it be the Pirates of Merrillville or the Vikings of Valparaiso to come out on top? We will go right down to the field for the opening kickoff. Valparaiso is in their green jerseys, white lettering, and black borders. Merrillville's in the white jerseys, purple lettering, and black borders as well. And deep in the backfield for the Vikings, number 13, Antonio Osorio, and number 27, Tommy Burby. Osorio comes up the field, comes in the middle, and gets smacked down immediately at about the 12-yard line of Valparaiso. It's going to be a hard field standage to come out of that. Let's see how the Vikings can play that up tonight. Led by number 12, quarterback, the captain, 6'5", 190-pound senior, C.J. Opperman. Opperman playing a lot better this season compared to previous seasons as well, with Antonio Soria halfback, Tommy Burby at tailback, the left tackle, Ben Scott, left guard, number 50, Tommy Stelma, number 51, Matthew Olson, number 58, Creighton Schreck, and number 54, John Hofer on the right tackle side as the Vikings run right out on the right side. Gain of about 4 yards on that carry.
Tackle was made by Devin Sanders.
Tackle made by Devin Sanders of the Pirates. The receivers for the Vikings, number 35, Wesley Snarp starting. Number 9, Blake Worthington, right to his right. Tommy Burby, number 27, the key player tonight, and captain, number 15, Luke Patterson. And Sorio fakes.
Tommy Burby again.
And Tommy Burby runs right on the inside. Seems to be gaining no yards on the play. It will be 3rd and 8 on the Vikings' own 17-yard line.
3rd and 8 for the Vikings.
The Vikings line it up here. Opperman with the snapback, brings it back, holds, finds the receiver on the outside, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for number 15, Luke Patterson. And the Vikings with an opening drive that just didn't go their way.
You know, the Vikings really need to get this together. They're just not pushing the way they should. You know, this is a bad start to the game, and they can't be having that.
Exactly, Tristan. And with an opening drive like that, you really can't figure things out in that perspective. Let's see what the Vikings are going to do here on defense. As Mason Maple punts it right to the deep field and is going to land at the spot of about the 34-yard line.
Merrillville's defense just not letting Valpo do anything. Now, hopefully Valpo can do the same thing.
We're hoping so, Tristan, as Nick Price of the Pirates is very well known. And number 53, Chris Walton, is one of the big key players that the Vikings are going to have to be looking out for tonight. Taking the field for the Vikings, number 18, Eric Whitehead at the helm of the quarterback. And number 21, Darian Dixon, right to his left side. And coming up here with the snap, hands it off to Dixon. Dixon runs it on the outside and gets about 5-yard gain. It will be 2nd and 5 at about the Viking 40-yard line. Excuse me, the Pirates' 40-yard line.
2nd and 5.
You got to think how stressed each team is knowing that their undefeated records are at stake here.
It is, and that's a big key element tonight to see how both teams play out. As Whitehead calls for the snap, holds for a sec, throws on the outside to number 19, Jeremiah Howard, and gains the first down, and there is a flag on the play.
Eric Whitehead's pass completed to Jeremiah Howard. There is a flag on the field.
And they spot the ball at about the 48-yard line. And let's see the call from the head official.
Personal foul against the Vikings.
And it will be a personal foul against the Valparaiso Vikings, which is a killer penalty, as that is a 15-yard penalty. That will bring the Pirates already into Valparaiso territory at the 37-yard line. You can't have things like that, can you, Tristan?
No, Valpo's really getting put in a tough position here, and they need to step it up.
With the snap and the toss back. Just misses him on the outside, keeps going downfield. And is thrown out of bounds by number 16, Colin Krukowski of the Vikings. Nice run there by number 11, Armani Glass. Nice toss back. But there is a holding penalty on the Pirates, which will discontinue that play. And that will be a 5-yard penalty. Good stake there for the Vikings.
Yeah, that's what they wanted right there. That puts them in a little bit better position.
And it is officially a holding penalty on the Pirates, which will push them back about 5 yards to the 42-yard line in Valparaiso territory. 1st and 15 for the Pirates here. It just seems that Armani Glass had a good rush, just didn't go well in his favor as there was a holding penalty, so maybe that's why the rush was so good. Whitehead looks, holds, throws deep, and finds a man back in the deep field.
Eric Whitehead's pass complete to Jeremiah Howard.
And that was Jeremiah Howard, number 19, with the catch right there.
Cahill made the stop for Valpo.
It'll be about 2nd and 4 coming up here on the play. And as you can see right there in the replay, Jeremiah Howard holding with the ball very, very well. Getting smacked by a Valparaiso defender. Whitehead lining up in shotgun formation, man to his right. 2 men on the outside. Passes, right beautifully to number 21, Damon Dixon. Trying to run it right up the middle, cannot gain the first down. It'll be 3rd and about 1.
Colin Kwiatkowski made the stop for the Vikings. 3rd and 1.
Eric Whitehead back in shotgun formation, calling for the snap. Looks like he tried to get the Valparaiso defensive line to go off sides. Let's see what happens here. Comes in. Snap back. Right to Damon Dixon. Damon Dixon runs on the outside and gains the first down. And time will stop.
Zach Carpenter made a stop for the Vikings.
Zach Carpenter making the stop for the Valparaiso Vikings there. And the Vikings just cannot seem to hold off this Merrillville offense, can they?
For the Pirates.
No, Valpo's being put in a tough position here, and they're not handling it too well.
They are not. They need to see if they can mix up something here. Whitehead. And giving it to the power back, number 45, Eddie Drake.
Up the middle for Merrillville.
Excuse me, number 40, Darius Schultz with the carry right there. Only 5'5", 165 pound senior, but has a power in those legs. Will be 2 and 4 to go. Merrillville looking to the side to figure out the deciding play here. He's got Schultz still onto his right side. 2 receivers on the left. Runs a play action. And Armani Glass runs right outside.
Armani Glass, the ball carrier for Merrillville.
Good play action right there by Merrillville. Keeping that Valparaiso defense on their toes. And for the Valparaiso defense, on the left end, number 11, Cooper Jones. Left tackle, number 65, Jacob Herbska. Right tackle, number 24, Isaiah Tidwell. And number 7 on the right end, Dylan Dingman. Let's see how they can hold off here. Merrillville is pushing forward as it's 3rd and 3. Glass with a 1-yard carry back. Right to Darius Schultz. Darius Schultz running right up the middle, and it looks just enough to gain the first down.
Darius Schultz off right tackle.
And it will be good enough for the first down. Darius Schultz getting about 3 yards right there. Just good enough for that first down. Time will continue to roll on the clock. And Merrillville just continues to keep rushing. Screen passes and rushing, and that's what Merrillville's very well known for in the previous weeks. Good play action play. Quarterback takes it on the outside. Number 18, Eric Whitehead, keeping it for himself, going right on the outside, gaining about 5 yards in the play.
Sam Carpenter made the tackle for Valpo.
They didn't see that coming at all, did they?
I didn't even notice it. I'm going to be honest with you.
See, it's good enough that you can even fool the people in the booth. That's such a good play to run right there. 2nd and 6 here as Whitehead will look to the side. Enough time on the play clock will remain. That Valparaiso secondary playing up. Only 2 men on the right side of Whitehead. Gives it off to Damon Dixon.
Damon Dixon up the middle.
Damon Dixon running right up the middle, gaining a couple yardage right there.
Cooper Jones made the last tackle for Valparaiso.
Cooper Jones with the tackle right there. It is now 3rd and 1 with 6:43 remaining in this first quarter. It's a stellar first quarter if you're a Pirates fan here. Pirates figuring out a formation. Whitehead with 2 men on his right side. Hands it off to Darius Schultz and will not be able to get the gain.
Darius Schultz, the ball carrier for Merrillville. Sam Carpenter made his stop.
Great job there by the Valparaiso secondary. Sam Carpenter, number 5, the 5'10 senior, getting the tackle and the stop. But it looks like the Pirates are going to go for it here on 4th and 2.
The fans here at Valpo are going crazy. They're waiting.
And there is a timeout for the Merrillville Pirates. Now, Tristan, when you look at this Valparaiso defense, what do you think that they have to do here in order to succeed?
I mean, at this point, I think they need to figure out how Merrillville's running their plays, and then from there try and figure it out. Because obviously right now what they're doing is not working, and they need to change that.
And it isn't, and we're going to go into the DAC standings to look at the other teams here tonight, with Valparaiso 4-0 in the conference, Merrillville 4-0, Lake Central a surprising 2-2, Crown Point at average last year 2-2, Chesterton 2-2, and the bottom of the conference, number 5 LaPorte 1-3, Michigan City 1-3, and Portage is just not doing well in DAC play.
No, they are not.
Portage a different team compared to last year, losing a lot of seniors for this year, and it kind of hurts sometimes. It changes the team basis, changes coaching.
Yeah, it happens to every team, though, you know.
It does, and the fans are getting riled up here in Valparaiso. Whitehead takes it for himself, runs on the outside, gets the first down, and it looks like he's going to be getting the touchdown.
Derek Whitehead, the ball carrier for a Pirate touchdown.
And the Pirates do get the touchdown. That Valparaiso secondary just not able to hold on the play. As you see right here in the replay, Whitehead gets right on the outside, scooches right in there for the touchdown. And lining up for the extra point with kicker number 41, Austin Pubeck, the 5'7", 135-pound junior. And the holder, number 4, Xavier Schell. Number 12, Angel Nelson. Drive right there by the Pirates. And it just seems like Valparaiso secondary just could not hold them off, could they?
No, but now Valpo, they need to get it together and try to match the score here if they want a chance, because, you know, first quarter is where you want to go in doing the best so that you don't have to play catch-up in the second half.
Exactly, and if we're looking at other scores in the DAC, Portage against Michigan City in the first quarter, Michigan City up 7-0, and of course in this game you see Merrillville up 7-0 as well. LaPorte is playing Crown Point tonight, as well as Lake Central and Chesterton taking on. And let's see what Valparaiso can do here, because they're going to have to change some things up in order to be able to be that team that they want to be, with number 13, Antonio Osorio, number 27, Tommy Burby, and it looks to be number 28, Jack Cahill in the backfield, ready to receive this opening kickoff. Excuse me, not opening kickoff, but kickoff. And it is an offsides call, which you normally don't see in a kickoff situation, do you, Tristan?
No, that's not something I've personally ever seen.
It really isn't, and you know, even in college and high school play, it's not something that happens very often. So interesting to see that, in especially a kickoff situation. I could see if it were an onside kick sort of kickoff or something of the sort, but a normal kickoff to have an offside, that's in a way a devastating thing to have happen. But we will try it again here. And number 42, Nico Dujic, with the opening kickoff to lead into the Vikings' second drive. With a scouring offensive pressure by Merrillville. Let's see how Valpo can match up here. Osorio getting the ball at the 10-yard line, about the 20, and gets pushed back. Let's see where they're going to mark this spot. They're going to mark it about the 15-yard line. Seem to be going up in advance, but man, that special teams for the Pirates just clobbered into Osorio.
Yeah, Merrillville is not letting the Vikings get through on those kickoffs. That's the second time we've seen that. And Valpo, when they catch that, they need to just go. They hesitate way too much.
They do, and they sometimes hesitate to find an open spot, open gap. But sometimes you just got to run up the field, like you said, Tristan. And Tommy Burby.
Tommy Burby off right tackle.
Getting about a 1-yard gain on the play. Will be 2nd and 9. The Vikings do play a very good offense, however, and they know how to run a play-action play fairly well. But at the same time, that Merrillville defense is just not letting them get through in any portion. Opperman hands it off. And off to Tommy Burby. Burby getting about 4 yards right there on the carry.
Made by Devin Sanders.
It'll be 3rd and 5 coming up for the Vikings. 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
3rd and 5 for the Vikings.
Vikings need to find a way to get out of here in Merrillville. All they're wanting is another stop so they can get that offense right back out on the field. Opperman holding back. Pressure coming up. Hands it off to Luke Patterson, and a nice pass right up the middle by C.J. Opperman to gain the first down for the Vikings. As you can see right here in the replay.
That's good from Valpo because the last home game that we had, their passes were just very off. So it's nice to see them actually get a good pass.
It is good to see C.J. Opperman finding that nice open gap, tossing it right up the middle, and gaining that first down for the Vikings. They will be at the 37. Nice play action there. Faked it off to Burby. And pass it right on the outside to number 15, Luke Patterson. Luke Patterson very much so improving from last year, seeing how he played and announcing how he played last year. It is already showing that he's playing much better this year. The Vikings looking to the side to see what to call here. Opperman's got 2 men on his right side, a man right to his right, and a receiver on the left, 2 receivers on the right. Opperman hands it off again. And getting smacked right up in the middle, Tommy Burby with the handoff.
Chris Walton in on the tackle.
Takes it to 3rd and 1. Valpo really hoping they can get this 1 yard, but as we saw when Valpo was on defense, it's a lot harder than you think it would be.
It really is, and Chris Walton right there with the tackle. Chris Walton, that's going to be that guy to look out for. Vikings run it right up the middle. Beautiful play by the Valparaiso offense, and we'll gain the first down. And they'll be right about in between the 49 and 50-yard markers. Merrillville still up 7-0. Vikings on their second drive. And Burby taking it for himself, taking the snap, and looks to be about a loss of a yard. It will be 2nd and 11 coming up here. I didn't even see Opperman come off the field, but he did. And Tommy Burby took the snap.
Darian Johnson made the last stop for Merrillville.
And we'll see what Opperman and his offensive crew do here. Ricky Hall on the outside, along with Osorio on the right. Hand it off. And Burby just could not gain anything on that. Looks to be about a loss of half of a yard. Will be 3rd and 12. coming up here. Valparaiso most likely going to go for a pass here, aren't they, Tristan?
Yeah, that's really the only thing they can do, because them pushing through is just not happening. The Merrillville defense is not letting it happen.
The defensive line has been a tough thing to handle with all year for specific teams that have already played the Pirates. Largely, Laporte could not get through that defensive line. Opperman under pressure, and he gets sacked right behind the back, and will push the Vikings back 5 yards. It will be 4th and 15. There were no yards gained on 3 of those plays. Loss of 1, loss of 2, and now losing a total of 5 yards with that 3-yard loss right there. Vikings are going to have to punt here. Number 2, Mason Maple in the backfield, getting prepared to punt here. Armani Glass, Jeremiah Howard back in the backfield, and almost nearly deflected by the Pirates.
That's not what the Vikings wanted to see there either.
It is not, and Drayshawn Garrett almost had that block right there on the special teams play. Mason Maple had a good eye on him and managed to make that punt attempt right there. And
it was very close for Merrillville to block that punt too.
It was very, very close and would have not been great in the Vikings' favor. Now, what do you expect for the Vikings to do here in the defensive secondary?
It's hard to say, because as seeing how they did last time, they let Merrillville just push them back constantly, and they really can't afford to do that. They want to keep them as close to where they are now as they can, but I don't know.
And a nice swing on the outside to Armani Glass. Seems to be about a loss of a yard. 2nd and 11 coming up here. Again, you're watching PCTV. I'm Zach Collins.
I'm Tristan Stewart.
Along with Tristan Stewart, bringing you Valparaiso Viking football of the Vikings versus the Pirates in DAC play. And they're taking some time to talk it over on Valparaiso's side, and they do not seem to be the happiest on that portion. Now, with that Valparaiso defensive secondary, it's a lot of younger guys. I mean, you have on the left side Cooper Jones Jr., experienced, but you have Colin Kukowski, also another junior, Sam Carpenter Sr., and Mason Maple, as well as Noah Beller in the backfield, with the safety Blake Lemons, who's also a junior, but you don't have Reese Crossan, who you had the previous year before.
Mike Brown, Steve Butterfield.
So we'll just take a break, talk about the Vikings a little bit here as that ends the end of the first quarter. The Pirates are up 7-0 over the Valparaiso Vikings. Now, Tristan, what do you think that needs to really, really happen here in order for the Vikings to be able to defend against this Merrillville offense?
I mean, I really couldn't tell you. They just need to get it together, because they're on offense and defense. Valpo's just not playing the best tonight. You know, they're letting Merrillville get through, or they're letting Merrillville stop them, and they need to stop. They can't be doing that if they want to keep this undefeated record that they have.
And right here, as you're seeing, the 1969 undefeated team, the reunion that is currently happening in Valparaiso. We congratulate all of those lovely gentlemen. We spoke to some of them in the booth. Very, very nice guys, and guys that you'd really want to get along with, and very knowledgeable football men as well. As the play takes off here, Armani and Whitehead getting smacked by Jeremiah Howard. Wow.
Valpo needs to keep that up if they want to bring this game back.
They really do. 3rd and 11 coming up here. And the ball is placed at about the 18-yard line in Pirate territory. Let's see if Valpo can hold the Pirates here. Carpenter holding up, getting the fans a little riled up here. Whitehead taking it. And a good play right there by number 2, Mason Maple, putting good defensive pressure on the receiver right there. Jeremiah Howard just could not find it. Mason Maple, good way to keep the eye on the ball, good way to keep his hands off that player of Howard, because Howard is that quick, agile player that we've been talking about, especially in pregame, and one of those key players to look out in tonight's game.
Yeah, Merrillville's going to be going for the punt now. I mean, I don't blame them. This is not looking good. Valpo really came in and shut them down.
That Valparaiso secondary finally showing who they are, and that's right after we said that they should bring that secondary pressure, and they did. Punting by number 41, Austin Pupek. Good punt, and gets to about the 33, 34. And the Vikings will take the field here in their own 34-yard line. Great punt there by Pupek. Just let the ball continue to roll. And that sometimes is just what you need on that special teams side.
Yeah, let's see if the Vikings offense can do as good as the Vikings defense just did. They need to get the ball forward because Merrillville being up is just not good for Valpo, and they need to match that score.
Opperman hands it off to Burby. Burby runs right up the middle, goes iron through the V to the 40, the 30, the 20-yard line, the 10, and a Valparaiso touchdown by Tommy Burby. Tommy Burby with a 60-plus yard rushing touchdown. Vikings up on the board.
See, and that's exactly what I was saying, is that they needed to get it together. And as soon as I said it, Tommy does something like that. That's great.
Great play there right by Tommy Burby. That defensive line just was not holding at all in that situation. And the Vikings go with Liam Shepard for the extra point. And it is good. Vikings tie it up here in Valparaiso, Indiana, 7-7. What a beautiful play there by the Vikings. Didn't even take much effort on their side as that defensive line just compounded the left side rather than right in the middle.
Yeah.
So when you compound that left side, you're going to find a gap. Found the gap open. That defensive secondary was playing up. Good blocking by the Viking receivers as well to keep Tommy Burby running through the middle. And Tommy Burby, just an agile player, great on offense. And that is going to add to his 700-plus yards on the season. And that helps the Vikings right here.
Kobe Nixon will kick off for the Vikings.
And number 93, Kobe Nixon, going to kick it off here for the Vikings.
Kick return for Merrillville are Armani Glass and Jeremiah Howard.
And Armani Glass, number 11, and number 19, Jeremiah Howard, both players that we were talking about. We decided between those two, even for key players to watch in the game. So both of them are very evenly matched, very good players, and good to have in that offensive backfield for special teams. And we get ready for Kobe Nixon to kick it off here. Nixon goes, little of a squib kick, and is going to be flags on the play. And it seems that he's laying on the field, that something did not go right there with that kick. Did not seem to be a squib kick that we looked to see that it was, but rather is going to be a regular kickoff. There's number 93, Kobe Nixon, laying on the field.
Because you get your blue ticket out, we do have the
But it is a
winner
good
of
thing
tonight's
that
game ball raffle.
the Vikings do have that 7-7 tie right now, gaining those points on the play. And Tommy Burby just showing up tonight, especially showing that key player to the game stat.
Yeah, they came into the second quarter here just totally turned around how they did the first quarter. Because first quarter, they were not doing good. And they came in here second quarter and just, it amazes me.
It does amaze, and it amazes many of the fans at home, and it establishes that offensive presence that you need on the side as well. And Valparaiso definitely needs that offensive presence, as Opperman is an agile quarterback, but is not somebody who throws a lot. And you've seen that in previous years as well. And just to give you a score update from around the DAC, Chesterton and Lake Central still in action. LaPorte and Crown Point in action as well. And Michigan City up top, Portage 14-0.
That does not surprise me with how Portage is doing in DAC right now.
Portage just can't figure out how to deal with the DAC conference this year, losing a lot of players last year.
Kicking for the Vikings, Liam Shepard.
And Liam Shepard, number 97, is going to be kicking here for the Vikings. The junior, 5'10", 175 pounds. But you just still don't like to see players like Kobe Nixon, the senior, go down like that because he's one of their primary kickoff guys. And a lot of times you don't see those kind of guys get injured. So just a little footwork issue that he had there and just did not lead to the Vikings having a good kickoff. Now they're going to have to kick off from their own 35. We'll keep you updated on number 93, Kobe Nixon's condition throughout the game. Liam Shepard lining up here for the kickoff. Shepard getting to about the 25, barely even kicking. And here comes number 11, Armani Glass, running on the left side, flag on the play, and going all the way deep. And will be about the sideline at the 5-yard line. But the officials seem to be walking back with the head officials signaling to see what the play was there. And it will be on the Pirates. And let's see what the official call will be here. Still signaling, figuring out from his other officials, the head official walking to the side. But if you're on Ronnie Glass, you're kind of in that state right now where you really wish that something would have happened on that play. But at the same time, Liam Shepard just kicking to the 25-yard line. He was at the Vikings 35, but still Shepard, not their primary guy to have a kickoff, more of that kicker for the extra point or a field goal kicker. So he's going to kick high. He's going to kick very high in that scenario, but just not his fault.
Merrillville at their own 27.
And Merrillville will be at the 27-yard line now. Caught it at the 25. And the Pirates set up shop here with 11 minutes, 28 seconds to go. This is their third drive of the half. Whitehead handing it off, running on the left side.
Damon Dixon up the middle.
Damon Dixon running right up. He's only 5'6", 162 pounds, but is still that good offensive pressure that you need running it right up the middle. Strong presence on the field. But in that spot, usually you have some guy who's about, 5'11", 6'2" height, 5'6". That's a different story. Whitehead snapping it and getting pounded by that defensive secondary ball right into the turf. I wonder what Whitehead saw in that play. They're looking on the left side, trying to find an open receiver, but no one was right there. Jeremiah Howard was the intended receiver on that play, but it seemed that it wasn't even close in his vicinity. It'll be 3rd and 9 here. Valparaiso secondary finally stepping up here. And Whitehead looks to throw here. He's got 3 men on his right side as receivers. And there's a flag on the play.
Merrillville just really having a rough time here.
False start, Merrillville.
And it's a false start on the Pirates, which will push them back even further.
Looks like things are turning around for Valpo here after that first tough quarter.
It seems that they are, and it seems that the defensive pressure is finally getting in Merrillville's heads as they're trying to figure out what to do here, and they can't as that play with the false start currently happened. And the Pirates 3rd and 14 coming up here. Whitehead comes back. Good defensive pressure, and the Vikings get a sack on the play. Eric Whitehead was sacked right in the backfield. Ruska with the sack. And the Vikings will force the Pirates to punt. And number 13, Antonio Osorio, and number 28, Jack Cahill, right in the backfield. Both guys right around my height. And the Pirates punting. Osorio calls for fair catch and gets it about the 38-yard line at Valpo territory. And this Viking offense will take field again. Defense holding off very well for the offense. Let's see if they can get some offensive production here, as it is currently tied 7-7 right here in Valparaiso. And again, Michigan City taking on Portage, still 14-0 score. And your DAC Sports updates. Opperman hands it off to Burby. Burby on the left side, runs it. Tries to find that gap, but just could not on that play. Will be about a 4-yard gain. Darian Johnson, number 26, a 6'2" senior. He's been a very good player for Merrillville as well, being that good linebacker with that great defensive pressure as well. Opperman with Burby on his right. And Opperman fumbles the ball. Looked to hand it off to Burby, but Burby just did not take it. Saw that defensive pressure coming up, running the outside by number 53, Chris Walton. Chris Walton being that player especially to look out for. He will be pressuring Opperman all night, as well as the running back, as he averages about 4 quarterback pressures in a game. And they're coming out 3rd and 5 here. Opperman looks and gains the first down. Beautiful pass right there by C.J. Opperman to number 35, Wesley Sharp. That will gain the first down for the Vikings.
That was close. It was a very low pass to the ground when he grabbed it, so very impressed.
Last tackle for Merrillville was made by Jaden Clark.
And Valparaiso setting up shop here quickly. Merrillville rushing to get to positions. Opperman with Burby. Opperman takes it for himself on the left side, gains the first down and a couple more. And goes right out of bounds for the Valparaiso first down. Will be placed at about the 33-yard line in Pirate territory. Vikings putting pressure here. Great play there, great quarterback. It wasn't even a quarterback sneak, it was more of a quarterback run. Take it for himself on the left side, running right up the sideline and getting that first down. Opperman handing off to Burby here.
Tommy Burby off left tackle.
And Burby with about a 3-yard gain. And as you saw on our replay right there, you can just see Opperman's face of tension as he was coming up, running up the field, trying to get to that first down. And Opperman lining up here. Excuse me, not Opperman. Taking it. Number 26, Matt Tomzik. Valparaiso likes to run those kind of rushing plays every once in a while, figuring certain things out, don't they, Tristan?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't really worked too well for them yet, though, and they're going to keep trying it until it works, I guess.
That's Coach Marshall's, in a way, perspective of figuring something out and running a play in his own fashion. Opperman in shotgun, fakes to Burby, holds, looks downfield to Mason Maple, and there's a flag on the play. It will be a pass interference on the Pirates, as you could see. As you could see, Luke Patterson's jersey being held right there. Could not get to the play. And it will be that pass interference call officially on the Pirates. Seems to be Xavier Shell, number 4, the cornerback for the Pirates. That is another penalty, and these penalties continue to kill Merrillville tonight.
Yeah, it's really given Valpo the momentum they need to keep this going in their favor.
And Valparaiso with a good field position right here. And the officials finally pushing it up the field. Took a while to decipher from. And it'll be half the distance to the goal.
Half the distance to goal will be
First down.
Vikings.
1st and 10 coming up here for the Vikings. They'll be placed at the Pirates' 14-yard line. And again, we are tied here in Valparaiso. Burby taking the snap, running on the left side, finds a gap, and just could not be enough.
Matt Tomczak carries the ball for Valpo. Nick Price made the stop for Merrillville.
And Nick Price, number 99, getting the stop for Merrillville. Again, Merrillville with that defensive pressure, they just really bring it on that defensive line with guys such as number 99, Nick Price, number 53, Chris Walton, number 78, Kenneth Grant, and number 36, Jaden Clark, always putting in a little stoppage right there. Opperman handing off to Burby. Burby running it up the middle.
Tommy Burby up the middle.
And Tommy Burby finding himself in the face of other Merrillville players.
Chris Walton once again
And
makes the tackle for the Pirates.
Opperman coming up the field here.
3rd and 3 for Valpo.
3rd and 3 for Valpo coming up here on the play with 6 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. Deciphering between what play they're going to be running here. Tommy Burby and number 21, Hayden Vineyard. Burby taking the snap, but there's a flag on the play, and it looks to be a false start on the offense, and that will push them back. And let's see if they continue to do the same play that they were going to. But it seems that Opperman is staying on the sidelines. Nope. Now he's coming back in for the Vikings here, quick and late.
That's really not what the Vikings wanted to see there. They were real close, and now they're just getting pushed back, and they're going to have to go for a pass on this one.
And those false starts aren't anything on just high school play. It happens a ton in college play and a lot in NFL action as well. So it wasn't that Tommy Burby just wasn't prepared for the snap. It just that it occurs sometimes in action. TJ Opperman at the helm. Rolls back. Throws to the right side. And it will be Antonio Osorio, the intended receiver, just could not get there. Good defensive pressure, clean plays right there by the Pirates. Covered by number 1, Devin Ladiger.
Liam Shepard on to attempt a field goal.
And Liam Shepard is coming on the field to attempt a field goal here in this situation. About a 30-yard field goal even. Coming up, Shepard, and the kick is through, and the kick is good. Vikings up 10-7 now over the Merrillville Pirates. Pirates putting up that pressure just enough to be able to have that false start play right there, and for the Pirates to be able to hold them to just a field goal.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been better for Valpo if they didn't get pushed back, but they made the best of it with the field goal, so, you know, I don't really blame them for what they did. I feel like they could have taken the chance to still get the touchdown, but a field goal works too.
And a field goal does work, as it does put some points on the board. It gives the Vikings that chance to be up even late in a game scenario, because sometimes some teams are up by only 2 points, and extra little field goals like that do help out. Again, you're watching PCTV. I'm Zach Collins, along with my partner Tristan Stewart, and the PCTV crew of the Porter County Video Productions class right here in Porter County, Indiana. And we're bringing you both undefeated teams. Pirates 6-0, 4-0 in DAC play, and the Vikings 6-0, 4-0 as well in DAC play. So it's going to be interesting to see who takes that 4-1 record in the DAC tonight. And the kickoff seeming to take longer than usual. Deep in the backfield is number 11, Armani Glass, for the Pirates, and looks to be number 19, Jeremiah Howard. And coming up here for the opening kickoff, Shepard with a squib kick. And Pirates receiving about the 15. Armani Glass runs right on the right side, coming up the sideline. Valparaiso trying to find that defensive pressure, can't get him out, and finally throws him out of bounds. Great play there by Armani Glass.
You would think after that happening once before, Valpo would not take that chance to let it happen again, but you know, they didn't learn from it.
They did not learn from that at all, like you said, Tristan. Number 48, Josh Federick, trying to get that stop right there, but just barely missed him, as you saw in the replay previously. And now the Pirates are in great field territory. 5:21 left in the clock in this first half. Just enough time to get a good drive here. Let's see if they'll run some time off the clock as well, being positioned at the 28-yard line. And the Pirates setting up shop. Number 18, Eric Whitehead at the helm. Hands it off to Armani Glass on the left side. Glass can't find an opening and gets patted down at about with a 3-yard gain. 25-yard line of Viking territory. It'll be 2nd and 7 coming up here.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 for the Pirates.
And Armani Glass just seems that pressure that the Vikings can't seem to hold, can they?
No, I mean, they're doing a little bit better, but they need to keep up the defense if they want to keep their lead here.
And Glass receiving it, getting some pressure, and passing it to the right side. Great pass in that scenario. Picked up by number 45, Eddie Drake is the intended receiver. Holds it in. Eddie Drake, nice job right there getting open, but an even better job by Eric Whitehead taking that pressure, sneaking out back, running on the right side, right up with the defensive pressure, pushing up. And the Vikings need to hold here, as that led to the first down. Seemed two officials had different spots, figured it out. And they are positioned at the Vikings 17-yard line. This is going to be a story here. And there's a timeout called on the field for the Pirates. That is their second timeout of the half taken. And again, Valparaiso holding here with that secondary, just can't seem to figure out what they want to do in this scenario. And what do you think that they could do here, Tristan, in order to hold Valparaiso to their own?
You know, I really don't know, but it's first down, so I don't see why Merrillville took a timeout here. I feel like they could have just kept going, if anything, and it should have been Valpo taking the timeout, but
it seemed that they kind of wanted to establish a play, establish a scenario for what they're going to do up against the Vikings here, and possibly even figure out what kind of play style that the secondary is having currently. And to just give you a quick score update, Michigan City up against Portage, 21-0 Michigan City, coming close to the end of that second quarter as well, right in Michigan City, Indiana.
at least this game's closer than that one.
Just a little bit. As they are taken down immediately. Hand off to Damon Dixon. Digman getting the stop there for the Vikings.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
And excuse me, taking the snap on that play was Peter Rodriguez. It's almost hard to see the difference in the 18 and the 6 from up in this position in the box. And that will be a loss of a yard. Let's see what Merrillville stacks up to come here. Whitehead getting the snap. Looks to Glass. Glass coming on the left side. Going right up the right side. Does a spin move. Dives right into the end zone. And a touchdown for the Pirates. Armani Glass finding that opening gap, as you can see right here in the replay. Comes on the sideline. Fakes out a man. Right here, perfect, and spin move into the end zone, right in the hash marks for the touchdown.
Valpo really wasn't expecting that at all.
They weren't expecting that quick play. They were expecting that long pass. That just did not occur. And as you can see in that fielding percentage, the Vikings need to hold them here. And kicking this extra point, number 41, Austin Pupek. The kick is up, and the kick looks to be good, and it is good. Pirates up top, 14-10 over the Vikings. 3:28 remaining in this first half. Again, you're watching PCTV. I'm Zach Collins, along with my color commentator, Tristan Stewart, and the PCTV crew of the Porter County Video Productions class right here in Porter County, Indiana. Now, that drive right there just did not go well for the Vikings, and that secondary defense just seemed to be out there with the deer in headlights.
Yeah, it really did.
It did. And now, Tristan, tell me a little bit about the Career Center and the things you do, why you like it, and so far your experience in the video productions class.
So far, I've really enjoyed it, especially nights like tonight where we come here and we set up everything on our own and have all the cameras running and everything. You know, this is fully student run, and I'm honestly very impressed with how it goes. And, you know, I love it. I was interested in broadcasting, and that's why I'm here.
Exactly. That's why I did it. I am currently now at Valparaiso University on the ESPN crew and WVUR, if you'd like to tune into that at any time to see Valparaiso University football instead of high school. And it was just fun doing these games, learning, especially as a first year, having no idea coming in and just taking the helm. And Tristan, you've been exceptional tonight being here, and we'd like to have you. And the kickoff received by Osorio. Osorio running on the right side, dodges a man, comes up the right, and gets tackled and pounded, especially by number 45, Eddie Drake. Eddie Drake's that good defensive pressure as well for Merrillville that they just really need on the field, and has been great in exceptionally special teams play.
Valpo finally realized not to hesitate on those kickoffs, and then you just need to go because it wasn't working out for them, and I'm glad to see that they finally actually just started running.
Opperman handing off to Burby. Burby running right up the middle, getting tripped up just a little bit, finding the foot. And it will be about 2nd and 2 coming up here.
If he hadn't tripped there, he could have had a really good run going. But, you know, he got caught.
Burby running right up the middle. Could not find any gap, about a gain of a yard. Just short of the first down. 3rd and 1 coming up here. Darian Johnson getting the tackle right there. Darian Johnson, number 26. He's 6'2", 205, and he's a senior, and he has brought pressure all season long for the Pirates. And it's 3rd and 1. The Vikings look to just get that first down. The ball seems to cross. Number 26, Matt Tomzik with the carry right there. And it will be just good enough for the first down.
It is a Viking first down.
Merrillville tried to stop him there, but just could not get that defensive pressure going. And even with Matt Tomzik not having too many carries, good carry right there, running right on the outside, getting about that 1 yard that they needed. Opperman here faking it to Tomzik. And the ball is intercepted, blocked off, and it is going to be in for a touchdown. Number 53, Chris Walton. Chris Walton with the exceptional play. As you can see right here in the replay, Chris Walton running right in the end zone, getting that touchdown. But right before then, Walton with the block, little bounce off, Walton picking it up. But Tristan, you just hate to see that happen in certain scenarios, especially Opperman trying to get rid of the ball so he doesn't get sacked. That offensive line really needs to put in some pressure for that defense to not even get to Opperman in that scenario.
That's very devastating for Valpo. You know, they had the pressure, and it turned so quickly on them.
Austin Pupek with the extra point, and it is good. Merrillville up top 21-10 over the Vikings off of Opperman's, in a way, what you would say, last-minute throw, and Chris Walton picking it up. And Chris Walton, another exceptional player on defense, and in my opinion, one of the best defensive players in the DAC. But even in that scenario, you just can't let that happen if you're C.J. Opperman in that offensive line. It seems that that left side with Tommy Stelma and Ben Scott just needs to step it up just a little bit more in order to get that. And both of them seniors, both of them experienced players. They should know this in the long run as well. They do, but they don't expatiate it enough in order for the Vikings to be protected in that scenario, which leads to plays like that. How do you like that little formation that Merrillville continues to do?
I think they're getting a little cocky, honestly. But, I mean, with the play they just made, I think they have every reason to be. But Valpo can still bring this back, so I wouldn't be celebrating too early.
With 1:51 left on the clock, you just have enough time to be able to get this last-minute drive in here. And back for the Vikings, number 13, Antonio Osorio, 27, Tommy Burby, and number 10, Noah Beller. And getting stopped at about the 27-yard line, Osorio getting the ball. And Osorio just seems to be that guy that they continue to kick to. And Tommy Burby, as well as Noah Beller, are in the backfield, but never seem to get the ball. It's just a different strategy to see how Austin Pupek does specific things in those scenarios as well. But the Vikings, however, take the field. 1:47 remaining in this first quarter. And as a handoff to Burby on the left side, swoops into the middle, finds that open gap, but just not enough. Gains about 3 yards on the play. Will be 2nd and 7. And the clock continues to roll. Vikings taking their time here, which especially is surprising in scenarios such as this. And they take position. Opperman, 2 receivers to the left. Looks to Burby. Burby catches, holds it in, runs on the outside sideline, and gains a first down and more. A 20-plus yard gain here, as you see on the replay, jumping up, catching, coming down, even with getting hit as he was coming down, holding onto the ball and still having enough to gain about 3 yards after the catch. Vikings need to put up pressure here. 56 running down the clock. Opperman looks, holds, can't find anybody, and gets thrown down for that sack. Sacked by number 99, Nick Price. And like we mentioned, Tristan, you just can't let that offensive line continue to let this happen.
Yeah, they keep letting them through, and you know, that's what caused the problems last time with Merrillville getting this other touchdown.
It is, and the Vikings taking a timeout here to discuss some things. 45.8 seconds left on the clock. And Coach Marshall, you could just see that he was not happy with what the offense was doing in that scenario, moving about, and just seemed to call a timeout here to discuss some of the play issues and figure out what they were going to do in this play scenario, especially because that pushed them back about 20 yards, because it will be a 2nd and 20. So it pushed them about 10 yards back in that play. What do you expect for the Vikings to do here in this scenario? Pass formation, a nice screen pass, go deep, or even give it to Tommy Burby and see what he can do?
I feel like they need to do a deep pass because they're not close enough with only 45 seconds left to get it to the end zone without a deep pass.
Exactly, and it seems like that's what the formation's going to be here, with 3 receivers on the left side, 1 on the right, and Burby right next to Opperman. Opperman holds and is in trouble, cannot find his intended receiver, number 9, Blake Worthington. And on that play, it was number 26, Matt Tomczak, on his right side. Tomczak offering that nice blocking pressure, but just could not help in Opperman's decision. 3rd and 20 here. They're going to have to go for a passing play in order to get some yardage here. Opperman standing back, can't find anybody, and throws right out of bounds. Intended receiver, number 15, Luke Patterson. Opperman just hasn't been that quarterback that Valpo needs lately, especially in these kind of scenarios where they need someone who can throw, but Opperman's more that agile running quarterback who relies on the running, and the receiving game is just not really where it is.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pressure on them right now too, which doesn't help.
It does not help, especially in games like this, where the Vikings needed a certain scenario to happen, and it just could not come in the end. And especially even, you look at Tommy Burby, and he's been that player that's been great all season long, but just not enough to do it for the entirety of the team. And a great punt right there. It is stopped, and it is down. Great punt there by Mason Maple. And Sam Carpenter getting that stop. Does a little spin move in the end zone, slides on the turf, and gets it into good fielding. But just with 26 seconds left, let's see what the Pirates are able to do. But you look at Opperman's stats, and so far over the course of the season, only 540 yards with 7 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, which will now be 5 interceptions on the night. And the Pirates coming back right here on the field. And they can't take a knee here as they are in their own backfield. That would be a safety with 2 points. So they're going to have to figure out what they can do in this play scenario. And running on the left side, getting out of the end zone.
David Dixon carries the ball.
David Dixon with a carry right there.
Cooper Jones made the last tackle for Valpo.
And now with the clock running down, they're going to head into the locker room to end this first half of play with the Pirates up 21-10 over the Valparaiso Vikings. We're also going to give you another score update of the Michigan City Wolves against Portage, with the Wolves up 21-0 still at halftime, and that game just going a little bit quicker than other games. But we look here as the teams head into the locker room, but there have been certain plays throughout the night, especially with Tommy Burby being that exceptional player, running right up the middle on that exceptional gain to get that Vikings that 1 touchdown that they needed. They get the field goal, but maybe it just wasn't enough.
No, they definitely have to come into the second half of this game with a different attitude if they want to catch up with Merrillville.
They really do, and they really have to figure out what they're going to be doing in these scenarios as well. And we are going to be heading in to halftime. Merrillville up top, Valparaiso 21-10. Again, we will be back with some highlights, some stats in halftime action. right here on PCTV, so stay tuned for the opening of the second half. Again, Valparaiso losing currently to the Pirates, 21-10, Pirates on top. I'm Zach Collins along with Tristan Stewart. We'll be right back from the PCTV Sports Studio.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Valparaiso Student Council would like to welcome you to the 2019 Homecoming Halftime Show. Prior to this evening's game, the 2019 Viking Homecoming Parade took place on Campbell Street. We had many participants that showed tremendous school spirit. Thank you to all who participated and showed their Viking pride. We would like to give a special thank you to Griegers and Team Chevrolet for donating the use of their cars to escort the homecoming court in the parade. Student Council also hosted tonight's tailgate with the help and support of the Quarterback Club. Thank you, Griegers, Team Chevrolet, and Quarterback Club for your generous donations. Our staff is just as important as our students in raising school spirit. We would like you to take a moment and thank all of our VHS teachers supporting the Homecoming Week festivities. A very special thank you to our class sponsors, Ms. Barrett, Ms. Zimmer, Mrs. Yelton, Mrs. Spiegelhicks, and Mrs. Harley. We appreciate all that you do for our students. As part of the homecoming activities, we had Spirit Day competitions among the classes. Competitions included Spirit Dress-Up Days, Minute to Win It lunchtime activities, entryway decorating contests, and participation in all homecoming events. Each day the totals were compiled to see who was in the lead. This year the winning class will be the first class to earn possession of the Viking Spirit helmet. This helmet will be on display in the high school, and there will be a plaque next to it stating the name of the class that currently holds possession for having the most class spirit. Listen up, it's time to announce the winners. Let's start by announcing the entryway decorating contest. Fourth place, junior class. Third place, senior class. Second place, sophomore class. And first place, the freshmen. And now the class with the most school spirit for the 2019 homecoming week is the senior class. At this time, we would like to direct your attention to the 50-yard line. Tonight we have two prior queens with us, Mrs. Stacy Sherrod Salmons, class of 1989, and Miss Sammy Constantine, class of 2019. They will be crowning this year King and Queen. Let's welcome Stacy and Sammy home with a round of applause. To continue, Valparaiso High School proudly presents the 2019 Homecoming Court. This year we included two representatives from the freshman, sophomore, and junior classes. The first member of the court is freshman Ray Ed Alazar. He is the son of Margarita Ortiz. He is a member of the freshman football team and team lead. His interests include football and music. His future plans include earning a degree in secondary education and starting his own youth group. Ray Ed is escorting our 1989 queen, Mrs. Stacy Sherrod Salmons. The second member of the court is freshman Danielle Saran. She's the daughter of Sammy and Emma Saran. She's involved in track, speech and debate, environmental club, and MSA. She enjoys sculpture and painting. Her future plans include going to Purdue or Duke University to study aerospace engineering. Dania is escorting our 2019 Queen, Miss Sammy Constantine. The third member of our court is sophomore Trevor Knight. He is the son of Jim and Jill Knight. He is involved in Spanish Club and also volunteers at the Boys and Girls Club. His interests include watching sports, kayaking, and spending time with friends and family. He plans to attend Indiana University and focus on psychology. Trevor is escorting Jaylee Howard, and Jaylee is the fourth member of our court. She is a sophomore. Jaylee is the daughter of Joshua and Stephanie Howard. She is involved in softball, club volleyball, team lead, drama club, and mission trips through volunteer around the world. Her interests include traveling, spending time with friends and family, and playing with her dog, Theodore. Her future plans include studying biomedical science and journalism at Indiana University. Jaylee is being escorted by Trevor Knight. The fifth member of the court is junior Ethan McFadden. He is the son of Jason and Melissa Waite. He is involved in DECA and a member of the soccer team and track team. His hobbies include watching NFL football, traveling, and hanging out with the boys. His future plans include attending Indiana University to become a physical therapist. Ethan is escorting Lauren Seymour. Lauren is the sixth member of our and final member of our 2019 homecoming court. She is a junior. Lauren is the daughter of Jeff and Shauna Seymour. She's involved in team lead, UNICEF, Key Club, and Yoga Club. Her interests include baking, shopping, and hanging out with friends and family. Her future plans include going to college and traveling the world. Lauren is being escorted by Ethan McFadden. At this time, we'd like to introduce our 2019 homecoming royalty. This year we have king and queen candidates, all of which are seniors at Valparaiso High School. The first royalty member is Issa Johnson. She is the daughter of Bagel and Roxanne Johnson. She is involved in swimming, student council, NHS, and SHS, Spanish Club, peer tutoring, yearbook editor, and rainbow staff. She also photographed Bill Dernero's Merrillville campaign. Her interests include knitting, laughing very loudly, thrifting, taking the SAT 6 times, and applying to 18 schools. Her future plans include studying journalism at the University of Southern California, becoming the editor of Vogue, and living in LA on her animal sanctuary. Issa is being escorted by Jake Nielsen. The second royalty member is Jack Krause. He is the son of Chris and Heidi Krause. He is involved in wrestling, student council, SAAC, NHS, band, team lead, and unified track. His interests are traveling, wrestling, and sleeping. His future plans include going to college for environmental science. Jack is being escorted by Lainey Roberts. The third royalty member is Devin Johnson. She is the daughter of Bruce and Solitaire Johnson. She is involved in Hope Club and a member of the Unified Track and Field, Flag Field, Football, and Bocce ball teams. Her interests include Pokemon, bowling, playing Uno, and watching and playing football. Her future plans include working in the community and doing something that she enjoys. Devin is being escorted by Corey Dida. The fourth royalty member is Eli Sewell. He is the son of Mark and Beth Sewell. He is involved in men's choir, NHS, the president of FCA, National Spanish Honor Society, the basketball manager, and a member of the track team. His interests include flying, hiking, exploring national parks, scuba diving, and spending time with his family. His future plans include attending college and majoring in aerospace science. Eli is being escorted by Jillian Leone. The fifth royalty member is Lily O'Shea. She is the daughter of Stephen and Jennifer O'Shea. She's involved in Key Club, Spanish Club, Interact Club, VHS Band, Vikettes, Rainbow Staff, NHS, Spanish Honor Society, and Jazz Band. Her interests include reading, entering writing contests, hanging out with friends, and working in the community. She has worked with Lakeshore Paws, Housing Opportunities, and Opportunity Enterprises. Her future plans include attending medical school and pursuing a career in forensic pathology. She hopes to one day work with clinical investigators for the FBI. Lily is being escorted by Jack Swartz. The sixth royalty member is Brandon Mack. He is the son of Thomas and Clark Mack. He is involved in basketball, student council, Viking Nation, unified track, and flag football. His interests include BNC Breakfast Club, playing cards with his friends, and AAU basketball. His future plans include majoring in criminal justice and participating in the U.S. Air Force ROTC in college. Brandon is escorting Sarah Douglas, and Sarah is our seventh and final member of the Royalty Court. Sarah is the daughter of George and Julie Douglas. She is involved in student council, Viking Nation, basketball, and tennis. Her interests include skiing, traveling, watching movies, and spending time with friends and family. Her future plans include attending college and pursuing a degree in sports marketing. Sarah is being escorted by Brandon Mack. Please give this year's court a round of applause. As we enter the final part of our ceremony, our previous queens, Stacy and Sammy, will crown the homecoming king and queen. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. The 2019 homecoming king is Jack Krause. The 2019 homecoming queen is Devin Johnson. Congratulations to our king and queen and to an outstanding homecoming court. Let's give them all a round of applause.
Come on, Valpo!
Good evening. Tonight we also take time to recognize and honor our senior VHS band and Vikette members. These students have dedicated great amounts of hours to polish musical and dancing skills to provide you great live performances at the football halftime and other VHS athletic events. We are proud of their dedication and their work. These students are on the Vikette lineup: Elizabeth Amons, Kenna Hazlett, Boucher, Bailey Steele, and Lauren Toppin. Let's recognize these ladies. Our band seniors: Teresa Nelson, Elizabeth Schmidt, Hannah Doderman, Eden Wilson, Maria Yogan, Nathaniel Driver, Sarah Gartner, Ryan Janowski, Isabel Gordon, Anastasia Severson, Asaya Vargas, Veronica Lynn, Kyle Christoph, Tommy Delaney, Anna Levaldi, Orion Jacobs, Eric Schultz, Hannah Steele, Michaela Donovan, August Nord, Jenna Fair, Elena Thompson, Lily O'Shea, Kyle Hahn, Aaron Hill, William Rader, Dana Rodriguez, Bob Giacard, Haley Klein, Jack Krause, and Andrew Register. Let's recognize our band seniors. The seniors selected as their musical feature music from the film Toy Story was written by Randy Newman, and we're excited to perform for you You Got a Friend in Me. And it's gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a car in the parking lot, a Navy Kennedy Mazda, license number SWJ976. Your car has been running most of the night. Kennedy Mazda, Navy, SWJ976. Your car is running.
and we are back here at Viking Field, just about ready for the opening kickoff of the second half, and we're talking about number 27, Tommy Burby, the junior out of Valpo, the tailback, 6'1", 170 pounds. He is a monster tonight. He has been that key player, especially in passing plays for Opperman, getting those extra yardage. He catches the ball, makes sure to gain that extra yards, and continues to push forward. And especially on the rushing side of offense, he's had more than 80-plus yards just here tonight, which adds to his 130.3 yards per game, which if he wants to get above that average, all he has to do is about 40 yards, which in watching Tommy Burby, you can see that it's very easy. He's that key player. He's got great athleticism. With Tommy Burby, you watch what he does, and you want to replicate it almost in other games. You watch what Tommy Burby is doing, and you want to do that in your other games. And once you look at Tommy Burby and you think, wow, what a player he is. And he is that key player, especially in the running back position, where he runs right up the middle almost every time, leaving Nick Price and Chris Walton to defend for themselves. And those two guys, especially on Merrillville's side, have also done a lot of great things here tonight. And Chris Walton with that interception off of C.J. Opperman, which brought us to the score of 21-10 with Merrillville on top. And again, we're welcoming you back to Viking Field. I'm Zach Collins, along with Tristan Stewart and the video productions team of the Porter County Career Center, bringing you Valparaiso football of the Merrillville Pirates versus the Valparaiso Vikings. The Pirates 6-0 and the Vikings 6-0, and the Pirates 4-0 in the DAC. And guess what the Vikings are? They're 4-0 in the DAC. But in this point of time, it looks like the Vikings would be the 4-1 team. But let's see what the Vikings were talking about, what Coach Marshall was talking about, what Coach Seiss was talking about with his Merrillville team as well in the locker rooms. What Merrillville did in this quarter and in the entire half was just play that great offense. They did specific things in order to keep the capabilities up, and in order to keep that defensive secondary of Valpo's playing back. They a lot of times trick Colin Kukowski into certain plays, and Sam Carpenter with Mason Maple playing deep at times, but Mason Maple did have that great coverage in the linebacker position. Now, Tristan, what do you think that the Viking offense needs to do coming into this half?
I feel like a key part of it is going to be Tommy Burby just going and doing what he's done already, just a little bit more. Because, he's already played a great game so far, like you explained, but I think he can take it one step higher and just get the Vikings a lead that they need, or at least catch up a little bit.
That's exactly right, and Tommy Burby with double the amount of yardage of anybody throughout the entire season in 6 games, being that key player to watch. And for Merrillville, Damian Dixon, Armani Glass, and Eddie Drake are the big 3 in that scenario. They're like the 3 musketeers of the receiving team, the running team, and you can't even forget Darius Schultz and Eric Whitehead, who are just those 2 guys who get you in good situations. And Whitehead, being the quarterback he is, he's done great so far throughout this game. And the Vikings will be kicking off as they received in the first half. Number 97, Liam Shepard, will kick off here as number 93, Kobe Nixon, came out of the game injured. And there will be a flag on the play as that kick went out of bounds. Liam Shepard he's not that main guy that they go to in kickoff scenarios, and more so, Liam Shepard's that kickoff guy who's mostly standing on the sidelines. Rather, he's their field goal kicker. Kobe Nixon comes in to do most of the kickoffs, but Nixon currently is not playing in this game as he was injured on what you would call a footing issue in the first half on a kickoff after the Vikings scored on their second drive. But nonetheless, Liam Shepard's taking the position, and the Pirates are positioned on their own 35-yard line coming up here. Whitehead back. Man behind him, Whitehead steps back, goes deep, throws, looks, and it looks like the pass is caught. And that will be at the 25 5-yard line in Valparaiso territory. That is caught by number 19, Jeremiah Howard.
That was a really good pass by Merrillville, but for a second there, I wasn't sure who caught it because of how close both players were. We had to wait till they got up.
And you did good in mentioning that, as you see here in the replay, with great defensive coverage by the Vikings, but just not enough in the end, which leads the Pirates to be at the Vikings' 25-yard line. They're marching into Viking territory. Whitehead gets a snap, hands it off, and Dixon stopped right up the middle. Found a minor gap, but that Valpo secondary coming in with linebacker Sam Carpenter and Colin Kukowski adding some pressure. And coming in for Kukowski, number 47, Nathan Kraft.
If Valpo wants to bring this game back, they can't keep letting Merrillville push through, and they can't, they need to do it now because, we're in the second half of the game. There's not too much time left to bring it back, especially with how far behind they are.
And like you mentioned, that they do need to offer that pressure, bringing it in with this Valparaiso defense. And the handoff, again, stopped. Dixon with a carry. That carry looks to be going for no yards. Will be 3rd and 7 with a loss of 1. Let's see if that Viking defense can hold them off. Safety's playing back. He's got receivers, 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and a man to his right holds. Whitehead looks over and is met immediately after that pass by a Valparaiso defender. Riley Robertson with the catch right there. And it will lead to a 4th down. What do you expect Merrillville to do in this scenario here?
Well, they need 2 yards, but do they really want to take the chance? Or, I don't know. Because they could do plenty of things here. They could run it, pass it, or even go for a punt, but I don't see that being an option.
It is true, and Peter Rodriguez taking the helm here. Excuse me, Eric Whitehead still in the game, running the outside, pushing in.
Eric Whitehead on the quarterback keeper.
And Eric Whitehead looks to get the first down for the Pirates. And the clock will continue to roll as he did not go out of bounds. It just didn't look like he almost had the first down. It looked like Valpo offered that pressure, but just not enough. Eric Whitehead with a good play right there. And like I mentioned before, the 8 and the 6 on the jerseys is something that is very difficult even to look at, as they're almost like the same looking number. Whitehead handing it off. Good handoff and rushing right up the middle. We'll get that. And that is number 40, Darius Schultz with the carry. The 5'5 senior running right up the middle.
Isaiah Tidwell along with Sam Carpenter on the stop.
Sam Carpenter and Isaiah Tidwell, 2 names you know very well, getting the stop right there. Whitehead handing it off again to Schultz. Schultz. There seems to be a lot of guys right in there. A lot of shoving going on.
You can tell that there's a lot of tension on the field between both teams because they both know the stakes of this game.
Exactly. They both know the stakes. They feel the pressure. They know what's going to happen continuing. And we look to see what Whitehead and his offense do. 3rd and 3. And there are 2 receivers on his right side. Schultz fakes it to Schultz. Passes right out. And it seems that Eddie Drake runs right on the right side on the sideline and gets the Pirates another touchdown. That defensive secondary just wasn't even looking for that in this play, which will put Merrillville in good scoring position, as you watch right here on the replay, Tristan.
Yeah, this is not very good for Valpo. They're really put on the back foot here, and they're going to have to apply a lot of pressure if they want to bring this game back. But personally, I don't see it happening.
You could be right about that scenario. And the kick is up. And the kick is good. Kick made by number 41, Austin Pupek, which puts the Pirates in good scoring position, 28-10 over the Vikings. And both of these teams being undefeated, and both of them being nationally ranked and state ranked as well. And, you know, Valparaiso, just that defense has been on the field for far too long because the offense isn't offering that execution. So when the offense doesn't offer the execution on the plays, and when they can't gain yardage, that defense gets tired after a while offering all that pressure. So let's see what Valparaiso can do here. 8:13 remaining in the third quarter. And again, you're watching PCTV. I'm Zach Collins, along with my color commentator, Tristan Stewart, and the video productions crew of the Porter County Career Center, bringing you here to Valparaiso, Indiana for some Viking football. And again, both undefeated. One team here is going to be losing tonight. Tristan, what do you expect for the Vikings to do here on the offensive side?
Well, honestly, in my opinion, Tommy needs to take control of this because I feel like he's the best chance that Valpo has, and I think they need to pass because when they've passed tonight, it's mostly, for the most part, been good, besides from the one interception that did take place earlier.
And that one interception, at the same time, wasn't Opperman's fault as much as it was his offensive line, like you mentioned. And Osorio gets the ball again, running on the right side, coming up, pounding into, nice spin move right there by Osorio, and getting taken down by number 6, Brajon Peters of the Pirates. Good job by Osorio catching the ball in between his 10-yard line and running it right up the right side to get the Vikings in good field territory. Coming up here, seems to be at the 40-yard line is where this ball will be spotted. Look at this spin move right here by Osorio, getting out of that coverage. And nice stop by Peters.
I don't know if you noticed, but at the end of that play, it seemed like the teams were butting heads at the end of that. And that just shows how high the tension is here.
The stress is high coming up right here with a 28-10. Valparaiso's got to come back here, figure something out. Opperman handing off to Burby. Burby running on the right side, getting taken down by a defender. Tackled by number 8, Devin Sanders of the Pirates. Devin Sanders, a name that we haven't heard very much tonight, but also a great key into that linebacker position.
And right now, Valpo is taking the opportunity that they have to bring this game back, and they're not slacking at all. Tommy's just putting in as much effort as he can.
And Tommy Burby trying to put in that effort, just could not work out as well, and getting a loss of a yardage at the line of scrimmage. Seems to be about a 3rd and 3 coming up here. Loss of a yard.
3rd and 3.
Tommy Burby coming off the field. And number 26, Matt Tomzik, coming in. And they're looking to the sidelines, taking a little bit of a time to figure out what they're going to do in this scenario. Opperman looks to his left, finds a receiver, and gains the first down. Pass to number 9, Blake Worthington. Great look there by Opperman, finding that nice gap, and Blake Worthington running it right up and getting that first down. Now, Tristan, would you like to give us a score update in DAC action?
Yeah, finally, LaPorte and Crown Point is tied 7-all, halftime. Michigan City is dominating Portage with 28-0 in the 4th quarter. And we still have no score on Lake Central and Chesterton.
We do not, but a great pass here by C.J. Opperman to Antonio Osorio right on the sidelines for the gain of the first down and more. Beautiful pass. Osorio finding that easy gap and getting to that 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line in the Pirates territory. That is what the Vikings need. Hand off right here. And taken down almost at the line of scrimmage, just a little bit right there. But what a pass by C.J. Opperman.
Yeah, I mean, Valpo's really trying to bring it back with everything they have. And, you know, they could prove me wrong when I said that they don't have a chance.
And like I said, football is a game where anything can happen. CJ Opperman lining up. Hands it off to Matt Tomzig. Matt Tomzig going down. And the official looking back to the first down post. Looks like it's just going to be just short of about a yard. So it will be 3rd and 1. 5:22 remaining on the clock. And it seems like the Vikings are finally gaining some energy and some momentum back here in this drive. Tommy Burby taking up the middle. Tommy Burby getting to about the 5-yard line, gaining the first down. Will be taken out at the 6, marked by the official. Tommy Burby, great job, like you said. Give the ball to Tommy Burby. Give the ball to Tommy Burby, and they do in this scenario. Tommy Burby again at the helm, takes the snap, runs up the middle, finds a minor gap, and is taken down just short. It will be 2nd and goal.
You know, I honestly cannot wait till next year to see how Tommy Burby is doing, especially with the great performance he's had this year as a junior, which really surprises me.
It is a major surprise, especially as a junior. It's great to see him as a junior playing the way he is, because you can't even wait to see him play as a senior. And again, Tommy Burby at the helm. Man to his left, shotgun formation. Osorio with a good blocking coverage. But Tommy Burby taken down almost immediately. Taken down by number 88, Bretton Rogers. And Osorio comes off the field. And it will be 3rd and goal. They're about 3 yards from the end zone here. And if the Vikings can't convert here, we'll be interested to see what they do on their next drive. And he takes it. Oh, man, just out of the coverage of Luke Patterson, just overthrew him. Number 26, Matt Tomzek, running on the right side, trying to find Luke Patterson in the end zone, but just came up short. Opperman coming back on the field here, as well as Osorio. And number 9, Blake Worthington.
The Pirates' defense is really holding up through this, and it surprises me. Valpo really needs to get it together here.
And they do come out. Opperman now at the helm, the quarterback. The snap, the throw, and the throw is just short to Osorio. Will be pushed out of bounds. Great play there by the Pirates. That is number 10, Ryan Mandy. Great play there by the Pirates, and that is Andry. It's his last name, my apologies. But look at how he just held him
almost
in
got
territory.
back up. He was so close to getting back up, but he grabbed his leg, and that's so disappointing for Valpo.
It is, and it puts the Pirates still in the good scoring position that they are in, and it puts the Vikings in a somber mood, to say the least, as they had that great confidence building, great offensive drive, and then it ended in a turnover. But the Pirates in their own territory, in their own end zone, believe it or not, takes it at the helm, runs it right up the middle. And you can just see the tension that you were mentioning before, Tristan, in these two teams.
I feel like a lot of it's just coming from Valpo just because of the score of the game.
And it could be that factor. A lot of teams, when you have a lot of success in the beginning and something like this happens, especially against a team you were evenly matched up against, even in statistics, looking at the lineups, looking at the defensive strategies, everything's about the same. But the handoff right here on the outside, carried by number 21, Damian Dixon. And Dixon continuing to be that great force. Heck. And it gains them the first down. And they're looking to the sideline to figure out the play that they're going to be running here in this scenario. The secondary playing about mid-range, more so close in the pocket formation. Two receivers on the right side. Handoff. And stopped almost immediately by that Viking defense. There'll be a loss of about a yard. 2nd and 11 coming up here.
Valpo's not giving up too easily here. You know, they're not letting Merrillville get through because they still think they have a chance, which they do. It's very possible, but it's going to take a lot of hard work.
It will take a lot of hard work, especially with 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. But there's still another 12 minutes after this. Whitehead holding on to it, looking deep, and it looks like Valpo just cannot hold on to the ball. Blake Lemon right there. Armani Glass, the intended receiver, or could be Jeremiah Howard, either of the two, but it was overthrown and was a poor throw, but Blake Lemon just should have had that ball, but a great job, again, by Jeremiah Howard for letting him not catch that and get the interception.
That really could have been the opportunity Valpo needed, but it was just shy of it, you know. Let's see what if Valpo can keep up this defense, though.
And there's a flag thrown on the play. It'll be a false start on the Pirates here. It'll be a 5-yard penalty, which will push them back to 3rd and 16 coming up here. That's something Valparaiso does need, as Whitehead in these kind of scenarios likes to take it for himself, figure out how he's going to run it rather than the rest of the offense, and does not execute it in the way or fashion that other quarterbacks do. But Whitehead giving the handoff and just getting stopped immediately. That was number 40, Terrius Schultz. Whitehead had that late kind of handoff, kind of held it a little bit. Schultz had to kind of take it out of his hands, but just could not, as you see right here in the replay, getting taken down by the Viking defender. That's number 65 of the Vikings, Jacob Herska, the senior. And they're going to be punting here. Tommy Burby, as well as Antonio Osorio in the backfield, ready to receive this punt, and almost blocked. And Osorio gets a fair catch, but there is a flag on the field.
Do you think Valpo is going to be able to take advantage of this?
I don't know. They possibly could, but it seems to be a penalty on the Vikings here, as the flag was thrown in the end zone almost immediately. Could be roughing the kicker on the Vikings as that defense comes back on the field, and it seems like that will be the official call. And we still wait for the official call here as they're talking it over, figuring out if that is the exact call. Coach Marshall wanting some information about the play as well. And the ball is still in midfield, and it is a penalty on the Vikings roughing the kicker. Maybe not. But it still seems to be the ball pushing back even more. But he did run into the kicker on that play right there, which will push the Vikings back deeper in their territory.
The Vikings have 54 seconds to take advantage of this.
They do, but with it being the third quarter, they still have even more time remaining after this as well. Opperman throwing deep, just over the head of number 88, Brett Otterbacher. Brett Otterbacher, a name we haven't said tonight, he just substituted in. And Otterbacher coming in for number 9, Blake Worthington. That was great coverage, however, on the play by the Pirates, as it will be 2nd and 10. Opperman, shotgun formation, man to his right, Tommy Burby adds some blocking support. Opperman throws, taken down immediately. In receiver, number 15, Luke Patterson. And it will be just short of a first down almost, but the official signaling that is a first down now. There we go. Advancing forward on the 44-yard line of Merrillville territory. Vikings adding that package. Burby taking the snap. Running in the middle, but getting taken down at the line of scrimmage. Number 1, Devin Lackner.
No gain, 2nd and 10.
Taken down right at the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10 coming up here. Burby coming off the field. And time will expire here in Valparaiso for the 3rd quarter. And again, Valparaiso losing against Merrillville. Merrillville on top, 28-10. And the Vikings just could not find it, having that really exciting drive to watch, Tristan, and just elementing so many different kind of things. Jack Cahill, as well as Tommy Burby and Antonio Osorio, just being those great players that you just need tonight in certain situations. And you just look at this team of Merrillville, and they just have that great defensive pressure. Chris Walton especially being that guy that you can really rely on, can't you, Tristan?
Yeah, and, you know, I was thinking Valpo has to get 3 touchdowns in this last quarter to take the lead in this game. And, you know, it's not impossible, but it's going to be hard.
It will be something that is difficult with 12 minutes remaining. And we're going to give you a DAC Sports score update provided by Tristan.
So Michigan City is still dominating Portage, 28-0. Still no score from Lake Central and Chesterton, but Crown Point is beating LaPorte in the 4th quarter. Crown Point 14 and LaPorte at 10.
That is a good game right now currently going on, as well as we will try to give you score updates of Lake Central and Chesterton as we enter this 4th quarter. Again, Valparaiso 10, Merrillville 28. Opperman looks, can't find Otterbacher deep. And that Merrillville secondary just compounding on, piling in, and offering that almost triple coverage on the play.
That was very close. Otterbacher just couldn't get there. He was like right there, but couldn't get his hand on it.
And Otterbacher just going a little deep. Opperman just couldn't find him, which brings up 3rd down. Vikings need to get some momentum moving in here. Opperman sliding to the right, and it looks to be intercepted. He was picked off. Otterbacher was the target of that play, and there looks to be a man laying on the field. Let's see what the officials call here.
It was complete.
And that was a complete pass.
Wow, that was very close. You know, couldn't even tell.
It seems like even a lot of people here up here in the booth thought it was an interception as well, as it was very hard to see in that play.
That's good for Valpo, though.
It is good for Valpo. Osorio coming down with that. Opperman looks. Goes the outside to Osorio. Osorio, nice back step right there. Comes in the middle, runs in the outside. Gets piled on by a couple defenders. Antonio Osorio getting that great gain that Valparaiso needs. Tackled by number 36, Jaden Clark.
Yeah, one of those defenders grabbed onto him. And as you'll see in the replay here, they grabbed onto him and he did not stop. He kept going, which that's what we need.
That's a nice slide back, especially by Osorio, and good defensive pressure. Valparaiso marching here. Burby on Opperman's right side. Opperman looks, can't find anybody. Tries to go up to number 15, Luke Patterson. Throws just a little too low. Couldn't get any gain. We'll go to 2nd down. Valparaiso needs to figure out a specific scenario, and like you said, Tristan, they need to pass more and they have been, but maybe here test out a little Tommy Burby. But they're not going to. Going to get to Osorio. Great pass, and Patterson getting in between the 5-yard line and the goal line will be first and goal for the Vikings coming up here. As you can see here, great pass finding Patterson. Patterson, open defender, leaving him and being taken down about the 3-yard line. His defender was number 4, Xavier Shell. Tommy Burby trying to find a gap, getting compounded, and Tommy Burby will be coming in for the touchdown. Valparaiso, great rush there by Tommy Burby, taking the snap, running right up the middle, and getting that touchdown for the Vikings. That was a great play by the Vikings. They've tried to run that all night, finally works out, and it seems that he was almost helped out by that Merrillville defense.
And I think
Shepard with a kick here. It is up, and it is good. Valparaiso has now gotten another touchdown, get them within 11 points.
Valpo's realizing that they don't have much time to do anything else, and they're fully into this. Nothing is stopping them at this point. You know, I've noticed twice now that it's taking 3 or 4 defenders to take down anyone.
It is, and it's that momentum and it's that excitement that the team has bringing it in to be able to advance into certain scenarios in certain positions on the field. And now Tommy Burby, you just have to talk about him tonight, having such a great game, rushing right up the middle. He has over 100 yards in this game here tonight. And like you said, to have C.J. Opperman to pass is essential, and the Vikings having great drives as they did there, Tristan.
And if anyone's going to bring this back, it's going to be Tommy Burby. He's going to be the one to push it so that Valpo can win this game. And it's not even that unrealistic anymore that if they bring it back. 2 more touchdowns. So it's a lot harder than it seems, but it's possible.
It is very, very possible, and it can't just be a touchdown and a field goal unless you go for 2 on that touchdown and then the field goal to get within the pointed percentage. But the Vikings, with that last drive here, with that momentum, seems that they can do it. And that defensive pressure on Merrillville's last drive seems that the Vikings have a chance coming up here. And kicking deep, trying to find an open spot, cannot find it. Howard, and there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, I saw that one.
We will see the official call coming up here soon. And it will be on the Vikings holding penalty. Excuse me, on the Pirates holding penalty. And that will push them back deeper in their own territory.
Really, I thought I saw that coming from the Vikings. But guess not.
It almost seemed to be in that scenario, but just could not work out. 10 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in the entirety of this game. Again, you're watching PCTV Sports. I'm Zach Collins along with Tristan Stewart, bringing you Valparaiso football and some great analytics here tonight.
This is looking really good for Valpo. If they can get an interception here, it's going to be even better.
And Armani Glass running on the outside, getting pushed out of bounds. Great pressure by the Vikings there. That defensive secondary really putting it to them here, offering that, in a way, zone defense, which allows them to do specific things and allows them more movement and momentum on the defensive side to offer that offensive pressure. And it will be 2nd and 10 coming up here as he was pushed out of bounds.
Hopefully Valpo can keep up this good defense if they want to bring this game back.
And hopefully they can, as Whitehead lines up in shotgun formation, man to his left side. Whitehead rushing to the left, finding his receiver, and brought down almost immediately.
That was a good pass for Merrillville, but it was close. I mean, that if they want to get wow, excuse me. If Valpo wants to bring this game back, they really need to get an interception here on one of those passes. And that could have been the one, but just wasn't close enough to it.
And Jeremiah Howard having a good opportunity to catch that, getting it open coverage. And it will now lead to 3rd and 2 coming up here. Whitehead back. Sent for the ball, trying to get them to go off sides. Play clock still at 10 seconds. Fans getting riled up here, trying to figure out how to get this Valparaiso defense going on this cold fall night. Whitehead rushing on the left side and will be stopped. And Eric Whitehead trying to rush up, but just could not. And it will be 4th down.
You know, it really looks like the entire city of Valpo is here for this game. The stands are, the bleachers are crowded.
They are filled, as this is one of the nationwide statewide games that people are tuning into here tonight. Thank you for tuning into our broadcast, especially here on PCTV. And the punt just coming up here short, and just coming up right to about the 45-yard line. Valparaiso will take the field here. Jack Cahill getting the punt return, punted by Austin Pupek.
And this right here is what Valpo needs to bring this game back. So I'm very interested to see how this goes and if they keep up this pressure.
And it seems like they might keep up this pressure, as there's 8 minutes remaining, and Valparaiso still can become the team that they need to in this quarter. Opperman looking to the right side to Osorio, left side, and getting taken down at the 37-yard line here. About a 2nd and 3 coming up. 2nd and 2. And this game still. And Opperman slides back, finds Patterson on the right side, taken down by 2 defenders. Patterson with a 1st down and a couple more.
This game has really kept everyone on the edge of their seat, and it just keeps getting better and better.
And as you look right here in the replay, Opperman finding Patterson. Patterson in double coverage with number 8, Devin Sanders, and number 4, Xavier Schell. Opperman rushing to the right side. Opperman runs out of bounds. And it seems like there should be a late hit almost in that play. It'll be a gain of about 4 yards. Opperman seems to be okay after that hit. And it will be 2nd and 6. And Opperman back. Opperman slides, throws to the left side to Osorio. Osorio gets the catch and will be stopped at the Pirates' 1-yard line. Great pass by Opperman to Osorio to get the 1st down and get within 1st and goal in Merrillville territory. Opperman has shown what he can be here in the second half for sure. And Antonio Osorio, being that player that he is, can find those easy gaps and maneuver around that athleticism. And Valparaiso rushing in for the touchdown. And the official is a touchdown.
Wow, this is unbelievable how good Valpo is playing right now. And it's after the field goal, possibly 4 points away from tying this game up. And that's unbelievable, since Valpo really hasn't scored since the 1st quarter, and now they've just brought it back with 2 touchdowns.
Whatever Coach Marshall said to them in that locker room, I want him to say to me every morning I wake up. So I'm so motivated to come into this day, because the Vikings are super motivated coming into this one as well. And it looks like they're going to be going for this 2-point conversion rather than the extra point, as they would be down by 4 even with the conversion. Opperman looks, throws, and it will just be incomplete. Looks like he almost had that. Number 15, Luke Patterson, so close to getting that. And now the Vikings are down by 5 points. Merrillville still up top, 28-23. Vikings having a great 1 minute and 23-second drive right there. And again, you're watching PCTV. I'm Zach Collins, along with my color commentator, Tristan Stewart, and the video productions team of the Porter County Career Center. Bringing you right here to Valparaiso, Indiana for some DAC conference action of the Valparaiso Vikings against the Merrillville Pirates. Both teams undefeated in the conference, and both teams undefeated records in general and out-of-conference play. There will be one loser here tonight. Let's see who that will be. But currently, right now, it seems to be a very tight game. And Liam Shepard coming out with a kickoff.
You can tell the Valpo team is just very excited for how they've been playing, and hopefully, you know, they don't lose that in these next 7 minutes.
And a beautiful kick by Shepard. And it will be a touchback. And it will start Merrillville at their own 20-yard line. And we'll just see what this Valparaiso secondary defense does here if they continue to play zone man-to-man. And let's see if that defensive line can hold up, because Armani Glass and Eddie Drake, as well as Damian Dixon, have not been able to do anything in their past 2 drives here, as the Vikings continue to stop them in their plays of territory.
Well, the Vikings defense also had plenty of time to rest while the offense was just pushing constantly. So hopefully that keeps the Pirates from scoring.
And Whitehead keeping the ball right there, rushing to about the 25, about a 5-yard gain right there. Will be 2nd and 5 coming up.
And, you know, Valpo's passes have been so good tonight, especially the second half of the game. I'm very impressed.
Opperman only had 2 completed passes in that entire first half, and now Opperman is just being the main target of that offensive regime. Whitehead looks to Glass, and it is incomplete. And Mason McMullen had a chance to get that there, putting his hands on his head. So close to getting that, but just could not get that interception. Intended receiver Armani Glass will be 3rd and 5.
Merrillville's taking a huge risk by throwing passes, because it's just as easy for Valpo to intercept those. And honestly, if I was the coach, I would not be having those plays happening.
And it is surprising as well, like you said, to even be passing in this scenario, as you should be rushing to get time off the clock, so Valpo doesn't have much more to go on. Whitehead looks, cannot find number 19, Jeremiah Howard, his intended receiver, and will go to 4th and 5. This Valparaiso crowd, as well as the team, is pumped up for this action here, and the punting unit comes on, number 41, Austin Pupek, to punt it here for Merrillville.
You can't blame the crowd for being as excited as they are, because this game has me just as excited, because you don't know what's going to happen here. And Valpo is having one of the biggest comebacks right now.
And here comes the snap. Here's the punt. Close. And Osorio will get. And Osorio will try to run. Doesn't cross midfield, but gets close to about the 48-yard line. The Vikings will take over in their own territory. And the Vikings here getting pumped up and pressurized, and getting those fans pumped up as well. The excitement is roaring here in Valparaiso, as you can even feel it right up in here in the booth.
Valpo has 6 minutes and 17 seconds to get a touchdown. What do you think is going to happen here?
most likely is going to be a lot of rushing plays like we're seeing currently right there by Tommy Burby. And an official was even brought down on the field. Tommy Burby right here watching the replay. Nice handoff fake pass. And Tommy Burby finding in the inside, and the official just fell down on the field. At least
that was
Curly
all on his
is
own.
okay.
At first, like, I didn't see it happen, so I thought someone ran into him. But no, he just kind of.
Maybe a Sports Center top 10 fails of the day right there. And Tommy Burby looks like he almost took the snap right there. How quick that was. Tommy Burby gaining that first down and crossing even more so into Pirate territory at the 42-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10.
Merrillville got way too confident going into this last quarter, and it's really pushing them back now because they thought they had this game won, and now Valpo's brought it back.
And they have, as Opperman drops back, finds Patterson. Patterson brought down by a group of defenders. He's brought down by number 4, Xavier Shell. And as you see right here, Opperman throws right to Patterson, and Shell with the takedown. It will be 2nd and 1. And with 5 minutes remaining, Valparaiso taking their time, comforting themselves in the game, and the excitement has not stopped. And the snap, with the rush up right in the middle by Tommy Burby, right on the left side.
Nothing is stopping
gain the
that
first
man.
down.
Nothing is stopping him. He is just going. And I said he was a big part in this, and he's doing it.
Tommy Burby, that main player that we've talked about tonight, and that key player to the game that we asked to look out for, and he has shown up even more so in this second half. And on the Merrillville side, Jeremiah Howard is not getting the passes to him as accurately as he was in the first half by Whitehead, which leads to the conclusion that it seems that Tommy Burby's having the better second half, rather with Howard and Burby with that almost even first half. Opperman throws deep. Antonio Osorio, and will be just stopped, marked by the officials at the 1-yard line.
This is unbelievable how close this game is.
Oh, man. Valparaiso, Indiana, you are roaring.
But you got to think, Valparaiso cannot celebrate too soon. There are still 4 minutes and 15 seconds left, and anything can happen. Merrillville can bring this back, so I hope that they don't get overconfident and bring this.
Burby running it right up the middle, and will get right in there. Let's see what the official signal is.
Everyone's on the edge of their seat for this one.
And it looks like he will be just short.
The whole crowd went silent waiting for that call.
That's a spot that is hard to make as an official, especially being on home field territory, but good spot by the officials here. And Valparaiso will be 2nd and goal coming up. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
Honestly, this could be worse because now they're just drawing timeout, which is good if they get the touchdown, so that it doesn't give Merrillville enough time to score.
And Valparaiso taking their first time out of the half. Tristan, what do you expect for Valparaiso to do here on this offensive drive to be able to get that touchdown as they're at the 1-yard line, 2nd and goal?
I see Tommy Burby going straight through, just looking for an opening and going straight through, but that's going to be hard because Merrillville's not going to let it go through as easily as Valpo wants it to.
Exactly, and Merrillville with that great pressure by Nick Price, Kenneth Grant, Chris Walton, and then the linebackers of Devin Sanders, Darian Johnson, and Jaden Clark. Just being that great defensive pressure that you look at in Merrillville and you think, wow, this team is really offering this pressure to Valparaiso, and especially on that play right there, holding them at the 1-yard line at the line of scrimmage. And let's see what they do here on 2nd and goal for Valparaiso.
Well, Merrillville's defense was so much better the first half of this game, and I don't know what slipped up, but it just hasn't held up at all.
And like you said, it hasn't held up. As you can see, Valparaiso came back. Merrillville was up top by more than 3 touchdowns at one point. And it looks like Valparaiso is going to get stopped just at the line of scrimmage again. Great defense by the Pirates here. 3rd and goal with 1 to go.
This is getting way too close. Valpo just needs to put it over the line.
Like you said, the main goal here is just they held them again on another drive.
Wow, this. I personally don't see anything else that's gonna happen. But I mean, if they don't get this touchdown, it's gonna be a huge disappointment for the entire Valparaiso crowd, because right now everyone's on their feet.
And you are right, everybody is on their feet as we're looking right out here at the press box. And Valparaiso figuring out what they're going to do here. They could go with an offensive snap on the outside, run it on the right side or the left side, as running it right up the middle just seems to not work. This defensive pressure that Merrillville continues to bring does not allow these offensive gaps to have the ability to come in. And they're not passing here, so that defensive secondary just can press up, run a blitz, and it's easier for the Merrillville secondary to play in this scenario.
Yeah, I feel like it's too risky to pass it up the side. I just don't think that that's something they're going to be doing. All right, this is it. This finalizes the game, in my opinion.
This is the big play right here, running on the outside and getting the touchdown! Matt Tomzik for the Valparaiso Vikings as a Viking horn goes off, gets the rushing touchdown right on the outside, running on the left. Great blocking pressure by the left tackles of Ben Scott and Tommy Stelma. And the Vikings getting a touchdown to currently be up by 1 point against Merrillville with a 29-28. And let's see what Valparaiso is going to do here as they have C.J. Opperman on the field.
The entire Valpo side of this stadium went insane. And, you know, I see everyone on the Merrillville side, they are just they're feeling like how this side just felt. It's wow, this game.
And as you see here right in the replay, beautiful run here by Tomzik, running right on the outside and getting that touchdown. And like we said before, rushing up the middle wasn't working. We recommended they run on the outside, and they seem to listen. On the field, Vikings currently are up 29-28, taking out 4 minutes off that clock as they got the ball at the 6-minute mark.
Do you think Merrillville can get a touchdown or anything in this 2.5 minutes?
It seems to be something that's hard, as this Merrillville defense has been almost 3 and out in the last 3 drives. Let's see what Valparaiso is going to do here in order to convert this 2-point conversion to be up top by a field goal. Opperman looks to Patterson. Can Patterson hold it in? And it was not held in. Great defensive coverage by Xavier Schell, number 4. But it seems to be there's a flag on the field. Let's see what the official call is here. It is on the Pirates, and they will replay.
That's what Valpo wants to see, because they don't want to be in. They want to get as far ahead as they can of the Pirates.
They do, and that was it was good coverage, but just not good enough as he held on a little bit. You could see Shell grabbing onto the jersey just tightly and offering that pressure, but looking right at currently just looking right at Patterson, not being able to turn around, defend that ball, which led to this play coming up right here. And it looks like he's going to be just short.
Ooh.
The officials are spotting him just short. And the 2-point conversion will not be made. Valparaiso will only be up by 1. Valparaiso 29, Merrillville 28. You're watching PCTV. I'm Zach Collins, along with my color commentator, Tristan Stewart, and the video productions crew of the Porter County Career Center. Tristan, what a game this has been tonight. Valparaiso, at one point of time, being down by 3 touchdowns, getting those 3 touchdowns, and now currently being up by 1. What do you expect Merrillville to come back here and do with 2:27 remaining?
It's totally possible that Merrillville can get this, but Valpo's defense needs to not let anything slip through. The slightest mistake in this game could be over for Valpo.
And like you said, the slightest mistake, and that defensive secondary has stepped it up currently, as well as that defensive line. But let's just see if the cornerbacks on that secondary can hold, as it seems that Eric Whitehead has continued to pass here on their last offensive drives, but just have not worked, as the last 3 drives have ended up in no points and less than 55 yards. Liam Shepard with the kickoff here. Great kick by Shepard, and looks to be for a touchback. Calls the fair kick. Pirates will start at their 20-yard line. And Shepard finally stepping it up here in these last 2 kickoffs, showing what he really was and what really could be. As Kobe Nixon never returned from the game, as we suspect that he is now out tonight. Little footing error just led Nixon to go down. And it's good that Shepard, the junior, number 97, has stepped it up here. Pirates take over at their own 20-yard line. You see the clock, you see the downs, you see the score, and is taken down by Valparaiso. Number 7, Dylan Dingman with a sack.
See, and that was great. And I was very scared that Valpo's defense was going to be overconfident going into this. And obviously not. They want to have this, and they don't want to slip up.
And the pass is incomplete, intended for Armani Glass. Armani Glass wants a flag thrown, as you can see right here. That is the sack play of the game. And Armani Glass just not able to contend. 3rd and 15 with 2:01 on the clock.
Honestly, I think Merrillville's getting a little desperate because the plays they're making just aren't making too much sense to me.
And the plays that are making, trying to go short, easy. And here comes another passing play, as you can see here. 3 men on the left side receiving. And the Vikings getting another stop here. Number 24, Isaiah Tidwell, credited here with a sack as the Vikings continue to hold the Pirates. And Whitehead just is not getting any offensive coverage at all. Martez Lewis, Avery Kirk, Jackwood Gray, Kaya Fuller-Smith, and Josiah Ellison just aren't able to hold this Valparaiso defense in any way or fashion.
It's crazy to me how this quarter the score was 28 Merrillville, 10 Valpo. And it's unbelievable. You know, I'm speechless with it because I didn't expect it to happen.
It is an unbelievable game here tonight. As, like you said, Tristan, at one point, Valparaiso's down by more than 3 touchdowns. And we'd like to also give you a DAC sports score update provided to you by Max Preps and spoken to by Tristan Stewart.
Still no score on the Lake Central Chesterton game, but we have a final score from Crown Point and LaPorte. Crown Point 21, LaPorte 10, and as we figured here, the Portage Michigan City game was a 28-0 with the final score.
So it seems to be here tonight currently, from what our knowledge is, that Valparaiso and Merrillville have the closest game. But if anyone has a 1-point game in the DAC, that's going to be very surprising.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. This might be the best game of the season for Valpo.
And here comes this play. This drive matters. Whitehead looking, and there should be a penalty on the play, but there's not going to be anything. And the Pirates continue to come downfield, rushing down the field and getting the touchdown. Wow. Darius Ross with the catch right there, but there is a flag on the field, as it should be.
That was a very delayed flag.
And you look at this play right here. You look at the replay. Watch this throw here. You look down deep in the field, and he's holding onto the Valparaiso defender and then pushes him down in an attempt to catch the ball. There should be an offensive penalty on this play. It's a very obvious call. And it is on the Pirates in Valparaiso's favor here. But it's going to be positioned at the 31-yard line. Not a good call there by the officials in any form, as you easily could see that there was offensive pass interference in midfield. Bad decision there by the officials, and the snap is back. Valparaiso coming up and in. And the quarterback went up to call a different scenario. And the snap was thrown all the way back by Jackwood Gray. Nobody was back in the backfield as you watch in this play here. And you watch here as the Valparaiso tries to come on top of that ball. Just could not. And Merrillville recovers. Wow.
This game has so many emotions just thrown in these last 5 minutes of the game. It is crazy. And everyone here at this game just doesn't know how to feel about it. Because when Merrillville got to the end zone, Merrillville side went crazy. But I'm pretty sure they're a little disappointed in having that snap just happen.
Yeah, you would be very disappointed as that pushed you back 20-plus yards, and now you are 2nd and 30, which in a 2nd and 30 situation, that is probably one of the most difficult positions to be in. But as you saw right there, number 49, Darius Ross, getting that pass and getting them into the territory that they are at. It will now be a 2nd and 30 in the Valparaiso territory. 1 minute remaining. And again, you're watching PCTV. I'm Zach Collins, along with my commentator, Tristan Stewart, and the video productions crew of the Porter County Career Center, bringing you live Valparaiso football for one of the biggest games in Northwest Indiana. The officials seem to have a lot of confusion with some of the calls here tonight, just of late, as they've been doing fairly well throughout the game. But nothing can remain on the officials. It's all remaining on the players here. Eric Whitehead coming up, figuring out what he's going to do in this scenario. Mostly going to be a passing play. 2 men on the left, 3 receivers on the right. And it's going to be an incomplete pass. Intended receiver was number 2, James Mitchell. And that will be bringing them to a 3rd and 30.
Yeah, Merrillville's in a horrible position here. 3rd and 30, I've never seen anything like that far back.
In this scenario, you have to think, too, you're going to have most likely 3 receivers on either side. Most likely on the right side, because that's more so the strong side. You're going to have those strong side guys right there offering that coverage. Valparaiso can't really blitz in a way, rather relying on that defensive line to offer that pressure to push off and get to the quarterback, because that secondary has to play as they are right now, currently back, finding a man, playing man-to-man defense. With a safety right in the middle. Whitehead runs on the outside, barely stopped. Whitehead dodging a man, getting brought down by number 2, Mason Maple at the 40-yard line. And that will be a 10-yard gain by Whitehead.
You know, I got scared there at first, and then I realized how many yards actually was needed, and I was like, oh, okay, you know.
In less than 1 minute as the clock winds down here. And Valparaiso, 4th and 19. Whitehead looks, passes, and it is incomplete!
Wow, the crowd just went absolutely crazy because that just sealed this game.
Josh Federichik with the stoppage right there, and Valparaiso is going to get the ball here What
That
a
was an
game.
amazing. That was just great, that play right there.
Great coverage right there, as well as Mason Maple being a little involved and offering that defensive pressure. Wow. And you now just see the Merrillville fans clear out.
Yeah, they want to beat the traffic home because, you know,
In almost an utter disappointment stature, you have Merrillville, who was up by a ton with more than 3 touchdowns
Yeah,
at one point.
they were up by, what, 18 points going into this?
And they were up by 18 points coming into this, like you said, which could not be 2 touchdowns and a field goal. It was more than that, and the Vikings are kneeling here
That was the
as it will
craziest game.
end this game. And somehow, Valparaiso was able to come back and win this game, Tristan.
I had no faith in Valparaiso when halftime started, and it's just crazy to me that it turned completely. And that just shows that anything can happen in football.
And our main key players here as the clock has winded down. Valparaiso beating Merrillville 29-28. Merrillville not doing anything here in the second half. Whitehead not getting anything on him. Antonio Osorio being the big key player here tonight in the second half, with CJ Opperman being the helm at the quarterback position, being that great support system that Valparaiso needed tonight, and as well as Tommy Burby offering that great rushing pressure. Luke Patterson as well on the receiving side of things, being that person that they really needed here tonight in Valparaiso. And you just have to be amazed by how this game went tonight.
Yes, this shows that Valpo is unstoppable, in my opinion, because they are undefeated, and even though they were down by so much going into this game, they did not let anything stop them.
Exactly, and like we said, one team was going to come out of here with an undefeated record. One was going to come out losing, and Valparaiso seemed to be the team that was just on top in that case scenario. Now here is a key of our playlist of highlights tonight throughout the game. Tommy Burby, like we said before, has been that great pressure on the offensive side, bringing in certain scenarios and making sure that Tommy Burby has his average of 130 yards per game. Tommy Burby as well gaining 100-plus yards throughout the game as the Vikings rush over to the side for its homecoming night, Jersey night, to their fans, rushing on over. And our camera person almost getting tackled on the side
close
as well.
Oh, they're climbing up
as they
onto
bring
the fence.
rain to the fence.
And they're doing their song, and it is well-deserved.
It is a well-deserved victory here in Valparaiso tonight. Being part of such a special event, you just have to look at this game and think, this has to be one of the best high school games that happened in the entire region tonight. Even the state.
Best game of the year. I wouldn't doubt anything else because of just how crazy those last couple minutes were with the flags and everything like that.
And Valparaiso just offering so much here tonight with that great defensive pressure. I mean, you have to just look at Isaiah Tidwell, Dylan Dingman, and other squads, and you just have to compare them, and there's just certain things that just don't function, but they function in the best way. And here are some key highlights of the game tonight, brought to you here by PCTV and our crew. And right here, an essential play by the Pirates. Pirates had a great defense going. Armani Glass being that great playmaker that they needed. Jeremiah Howard, our key player to the game, being one of the best. Opperman throwing spectacularly, as well as Luke Patterson being able to receive. And then you look at Chris Walton on the defensive side, bringing that pressure, getting that interception right there. Opperman throwing down here, finding a man, and getting that first down. That was essential. But here's a big key play here to the game with Tommy Burby running right up the middle, and getting that touchdown, running for 60-plus yards just on this play right here.
They weren't even close to getting him.
And then you just look at the replays as well with Tommy Burby. And like we've mentioned, Tommy Burby has been an essential portion. And then you can't even forget number 97, Liam Shepard, for being that guy who could come into a game late. C.J. Opperman would make sure that Tommy Burby got his yardage per game for sure tonight, averaging even more than his 130 yards for sure. We do not have an exact number on that, but Tommy Burby and Antonio Osorio is one we cannot forget, as he was that big key player and that big target that Opperman just loved to throw to, especially on long plays. And Osorio, being that athletic player that he is able to get that coverage and find that gap that other athletes would not be able to, especially for Valpo, and that helps Opperman in so many different ways. Opperman throws right here to the right side, and that play was one of the essential keys as well, as Otterbacher was in the region, and then Osorio came down with that catch and was able to get that first down on the next drive. And right here, as you watch Osorio getting stopped right at the 1 yard line, just short. Opperman throwing to the left side to Osorio here. Osorio with that nice step back. He's got that nice pull. And then he comes in, steps again, fakes it out, and then gets stopped. But as getting stopped, he gets about 5 yard gain here to get that first down. And then here is one of the best key plays to the game. Matt Tomczyk with that rushing touchdown on the left side, swooping out and getting the touchdown. As you watch, here's Coach Marshall talking to his team, explaining to the game and the key play elements to the game as well. Now, Tristan, what would you take away from this game if you were Coach Marshall and this Valparaiso squad?
He should be extremely happy for how this last quarter of the game went. Whatever he told the team in the locker room, though, really mattered, because that just gave the team the confidence to win this game, and he's pleased with it.
He should be very, very pleased with it. And you saw whoever Coach Marshall looked at the end of that half, you saw the fear on their faces at the end of that first half. You saw that somber look on Valparaiso as they were down. They were down in this game by more than 3 touchdowns in that drive, and Valparaiso going for that 2-point conversion late in the game. And I thought that might be a key element to getting that 2 points, but it seemed to not be, as Valparaiso wins by only 1. But you have to be very proud of what Coach Marshall did here tonight.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And, Merrillville, they were sitting over there talking, and they just kind of walked off the field. And they had nothing because, the disappointment, honestly, they thought they had that game, and they just got a little too confident with themselves.
And you have to look at Eric Whitehead and think, what a great first half performance he had. Then you look at the Eric Whitehead in the second half, and it looked like 2 different guys. It almost looked like someone who wouldn't be in the quarterback position spot, because Eric Whitehead in that first half was passing very, very well. He was rushing plays. He was even blocking at specific moments of time on that left side, because that left side of the Valparaiso defense brings pressure with Cooper Jones, Jacob Herska, and Colin Kukowski. And you just have to look at Merrillville and think, what a great first half they had, especially on the offensive and defensive sides.
In the second half, too, Valpo's passes were just amazing. They were hitting almost all of them without any problems.
And like you said, Valparaiso doing so many great things here tonight as they come up with the win against Merrillville in Duneland action. Valparaiso now 5-0, Merrillville 4-1 in the conference. Valparaiso is currently undefeated. And upcoming on PCTV, we will have a special presentation of the mayoral debate on October 9th at 7 p.m. exclusively on PCTV. So tune in for that, as well as on October 18th, the final regular season football game will be streamed here right on PCTV against Lake Central, in which you'll eventually see a score tonight on Max Preps if you would like to invest in that. And if you would like to find any more information on the Porter County TV Facebook page. Thank you everyone for watching this broadcast of the Valparaiso Vikings versus the Merrillville Pirates. This has been a presentation of PCTV Sports of the Porter County Career and Technical Center. This broadcast was student produced by members of the Porter County Career Center's video production class. This broadcast was produced by Logan Odzik and Connor Small and directed by Cameron Schultz and Catherine Davis. The Porter County Career and Technical Center video production class is instructed by Robert Phelps. We'll be leaving you with a final score of 29 Valparaiso, 28 Merrillville. I'm Zach Collins, along with Tristan Stewart, saying have a great night and enjoy this Valparaiso win.